Kalusugan ng mamamayan, laging ipaglalaban. Galing mo Pinoy! Ganda mo Pinas! Magagandang tanawin sa ating bansa ay bibigyan pansin. Usapang turismo'y ating paiigtingin. Galing mo Pinoy! Ganda mo Pinas! At ngayon, narito na ang mga kakampi ng Pinoy, tagapagtaguyod ng talentong Pilipino at magandang Pilipinas. Ka-Obet Pagdanganan, Joy Socaw Alumno at Judy Estrada Larino.
Magandang hapon po mga ka-partner. Magandang hapon sa iyo, partners. Joyce?
Magandang
partner
hapon
July?
po.
Yes.
So excited for today.
Yes, well.
Magandang hapon sa inyo, Gov. At syempre sa ating mga tigapakinig. Naku, nagulat kayo? O hindi? Ayan.
Bago, no?
Bagong-bago talaga.
Yeah. For the first time po, ay nilunsad natin ng bagong format na ating programa. Galing mo Pinoy? Galing, ganda mo Pinas.
Oh. Naninibago pa si Go.
Ulitin natin. Galing mo Pinoy, ganda mo Pinas. Dito po ay magtatanghal sa exactly what is meant, yung sinasabi, kung gaano kagaling ang Filipino, ang ating, at gaano kaganda naman ang Pilipinas.
Gaano kagaling, gaano katalentado ang mga Pilipino.
Ang husay na Pilipino.
Ang husay na mga Pilipino.
Kabiyanihan ng mga Pilipino. At ngayong araw na ito, ay magkakaroon tayo ng mga panauhin at makikilala natin siya ngayon, mamaya natin tatalakayin. Ang isa po sa kaunahang papaksain natin ngayon ay yung kabayanihan ng mga Pilipino. Di ba April 9?
April 9.
Araw ng
holiday
kagitingan.
na naman sa Lunes. Kasi
tama, dahil araw ng kagitingan.
Long weekend pala sila ngayon? Buti pa kayo. Ay, hindi, day off ko pala sa Lunes.
May panahon po natin sa unang bahagi pagkatapos sa ating pagtalakay sa mga kasalukuyang kaganapan ay pinakabatang anak ng kauna-unahang general na 4-star general. Yung Chief of Staff sa Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Siya yung unang 4-star general.
Oo. At mamaya papaliwanag natin yan. Bakit naging 4-star? Samantalang dati hindi naman no-star, 3-star. Wala pong iba kundi si Mon Santos. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Mon.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat at magandang hapon po sa ating tagapagkinig sa buong Pilipinas at marami pong salamat.
Sa buong mundo.
Buong mundo.
Napapakinggan tayo.
Isa hong karangalan at ako'y naging panauhin nyo dito sa inyong programa at hingi ako ng konting paumanhin at medyo pauso tayo ngayon. Hindi ako kumakanta. Medyo tinamaan lang muna sa
gabi Mon.
Hindi naman.
Pero iklaro natin, hindi siya yung general
Hindi siya.
Siya yung bunsong anak.
Anak ng general. Pero alam nyo, na nagkakataon na yung ating bagong Chief of Staff na itinatalaga ng ating Pangulo sa April 18 na numpa napapalit kay General Guerrero ay si General Carlito Galvez.
Yes. Siya po ang kasalukuyang hepe ng Western Mindanao Command.
Correct. At si General Carlito Galvez ay taga Bulacan, actually.
Oh,
we take special pride on that.
Ka na, Ma'am Joyce. Alis na tayo.
Panahon ng Bulacan ngayon.
Magagaling din, talaga naman.
Isang araw siguro maganda mga kapanayan din natin siya. Isang halimbawa na naman kung gaano kagaling ang Pinoy, no? At si General Santos, as we'll discuss later on, ay may roots din sa Bulacan, di ba, no? Mon?
Opo, meron kaming roots, although ang papa ay pinanganak ko sa Santa Cruz, Manila. Ang roots namin goes up to Biga, Bulacan, which is now Balagtas, Bulacan. No? Hindi ko na ho nakilala dahil talagang may kabataan ho tayo, although hindi naman ho talagang bata. No? But noong mga 1800s pa ho yun, alam ho namin na meron na kami mga ninuno sa Bulacan. So talagang panahon na ho ngayon ang mga Bulakenyo.
Well, in fact, both sides sa'yo, di ba? Even your mom was...
Opo, ang mother ko rin ho is taga Balagtas. Ang mother ko ho ay isang Baltasar. And sa kaalaman ho namin, kami rin ho, ang mga ninuno namin ang pinagpipitaga ng Francisco Balagtas, Baltasar.
Ay, mamaya.
Naman.
Pakinggan natin ang Balagtasan.
Baka maganda magbigyan ng konting sample si...
Sample kayo mo ng Balagtasan.
Naku po, mapapalaban ho.
Pero sa ngayon, nais ko lang talakay. Una-una, bago makakalimutan, gusto kong batiin, nagdiwang noong April 5 ng kanyang kaarawan, si dating Presidente GMA, si Gloria
Yes.
Arroyo.
Happy birthday po, belated.
And of course, last week on March 28 was si President Digong, ano?
So, mukhang
happy birthday din.
Oo, nag-celebrate sila isang
Sila
gabi,
isang
no?
gabi.
Oo.
Pinagsabay yung celebration.
Isang celebration na
Sana
lang.
po, bigyan pa kayo ng maraming birthdays para mas makapaglingkod sa mga kababayan natin. Pero ang isa sa mga balita mo ng tatalakayin natin ay itong pagbibitiw ni Secretary Aguirre na tinanggap ng Presidente. At, well, yan na naman, ano? Ang papalit sa kanya, si Secretary Menardo Guevara.
Yes.
Ay, isa na naman.
Taga Bulacan din, eh.
Ay, ganun ba?
Parang hindi tayo belong
Halika na.
dito.
No, hindi, i-adapt namin kayo. No, nagkataon lang,
Talaga,
ano?
oh.
Menardo
Si
Guevara.
Attorney Menardo Guevara.
Secretary of George A.
Yes.
From Maykawayan, Bulacan. Actually. He's a brilliant lawyer. Number 2 sa bar ito.
Yes, bar top notcher.
Galing, bar top notcher. At,
Talagang magagaling ang taga Bulacan. Yun lang ang sinasabi.
Palagay ko may roots din ako ng Bulacan.
Sana magtuloy-tuloy na. Sana magtuloy-tuloy na yan. Anyway, so yun po, ang binabati natin si Secretary Menardo Guevara. At ang sa Armed Forces naman, si Carlito Galvez, sa PNP, ang
Yes, of
papalit kay
course.
si Albayalde, no? General
Yes.
Albayalde.
Director Oscar Albayalde.
Ang papalit kay Bato.
April 18.
General.
Ang,
so,
kanila
Hindi
we
naman
wish you
sa
all the
taga
best.
Bulacan.
Hindi.
Akala ko singit na naman ko.
Hindi, naalala ko lang talagang nagkatugma, no? Oo.
Pagkakataon nga naman.
So we wish them all the best. General Albayalde to PNP, Chief PNP, and General Galvez sa Armed Forces of the
AFP.
Philippines. Oo. Well, anyway, so balikan natin ang ating Panoy Pandangan.
Oo, kasi puno na naman tayo ngayon, Go.
Oo nga.
So I think the format now is that magbe-feature tayo ng kagalingan ng Pinoy.
Yes.
And then another half will be kagandahan naman ng Pilipinas.
Pilipinas.
Yan, yes.
Oo.
So that's how the flow of the program
Yes, more or less every time.
every time.
Yes,
Oo. And
oo.
I think we will be sharing some photos and videos
Yes, ayan.
time to time.
Napapanood nila tayo sa FB Live, dyan ho sa FB page ng DWIZ 882. Ayan, live na live ho kami, kaya kitang-kita nyo kung...
Nakikita sa atin sa ibang bansa,
yung
di ba?
camera
Oo,
natin.
hi. Good afternoon from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Meron tayo from UK, from Canada.
Yes,
from,
nako.
Yung Facebook.
Australia, marami.
Right. Anyway, so, balikan natin si son of General Santos. Juan, ano yung mga memories mo about General Santos? Paano ba, do you remember paano ba nangyari si 4-star General kaunahan?
Ay, napakaganda ho kasi ho, alam nyo, I've had the distinction of growing up with my father who was already retired and growing old also. And we shared a lot of very intimate moments together. Yung father and son moments ba? And ikinakwenta niya noon na again, the curious boy that I was, ang sabi ko, paano ka ba naging first 4-star, no? So, kinukwento niya, alam mo, iho, nung unang panahon, lahat ng naging chief of staff sa Armed Forces of the Philippines were of the rank na 3-star general, which is Lieutenant General at that time.
Yung tradition at the time before him, yes.
So when I was appointed, sabi niya, as the chief of staff of the Armed Forces, September 1, 1962, I had the rank of a Lieutenant General, a 3-star general, no? Now, during my term, sabi niya, being the highest ranking military official of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, I was sent to several conferences, military conferences, to represent our country and to represent our armed forces, no? And then I noticed and I realized that although we are of the same position as chief of staff, I was outranked because all of them were 4 stars. No?
Yes.
So
All the chiefs of staff from other countries.
from other countries were 4-star, no? So nung pag-uwi daw ho niya, he had an audience with the then President Diosdado Macapagal and intimated to him the dilemma that every time he represents our beloved country, he has always been outranked, no?
Outranked,
So
prinomote siya.
right there and there, it was not that easy. It had to go through an act of Congress.
Dahil pass a law.
And on
Create the
June
job,
22,
yeah.
1963.
yun.
Oh, June 22, 1963. Republic Act 3741 was passed, elevating the rank of the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, to a 4-star general. And thereby making my father, the late Alfredo M. Santos, the first 4-star general.
Yes.
Wow.
And, at si General Santos, ay siya ang Chief of Staff din ng 4-star general kanonahan, and he was a vanguard graduate of ROTC.
Hindi siya talagang sundalo. Reserve lang siya.
Civil engineer.
Actually, he was a civil engineer.
Yes.
Pero
From
hindi siya
Mapua pa,
PMA.
no?
Hindi sa PMA.
Usual na nagiging, nagiging...
Yes.
Naita talaga sa ano
Kasi
pwesto.
ang usual ng pangyayari, yung mga nagiging sundalo, naging opisyalis, ay dumadaan sa Philippine Military Academy.
Yes.
But
Even
my
before
father,
him, di ba?
Even before him, no? But my father sort of broke records of
Yun
sorts,
nga.
no? Because by profession, my father was a civil engineer,
Yes.
no? And then, but by heart and by desire, he was a soldier, no? So
Nagsilbi talaga siya.
Nagsilbi
Naglingkod
siya
bilang sundalo.
after his engineering degree. He enrolled sa UP as a reserve officer, no? And he was a corps commander of the ROTC, no? At that time.
Naging corps commander siya. Sa
Naging
UP.
corps commander siya. That's why he is a revered, very much revered
vanguard.
Vanguard, no? ng UP, no? And then, at that time, sabi niya, son, even when I was a small boy, I wanted to be a soldier. In fact, I think it was my destiny because I think it is in my blood to be a soldier and to serve our country.
Yun. Alam mo, maputol kita, no? At gusto kong dunayin sa'yo. Paano nagsimula yung karir niya? Hinyero siya, nag-UP, pagka-graduate.
Anong year yan?
Anong year yan nung nag-graduate sa UP siya?
Mga 1920s, 1925.
At talagang nandun siya sa death march, no?
Eventually.
Yes.
So, ano yung first pagpasok niya sa military, ano yung magiging karanasan niya? Kasi meron pang ginugil ko, he was known as the Hammer of the Armed Forces,
Yes, yes.
Hero of the Pockets. May kwento ba siya tungkol sa mga pangyayari na yun? How he
Marami ho siyang kwento sa akin. In fact, pipiliin ko na lang yung mga magagandang kwento.
Sige,
Kung hindi,
sige.
baka maubuso na tayo ng oras
dahil
dito.
ilang taon din yun.
Ilang taon din ho yun, no? Ang kwento ho ng papa ko, at nung at the outbreak of the war noong December 1941,
Yeah.
he was part of the Philippine Military Academy as one of the superintendents there, no? And then at that time, the chief superintendent of PMA, the then Colonel Fidel Segundo, was his direct officer, no?
Yun in charge.
In charge, no? At the outbreak of the war, he was given strict instructions immediately to round up the cadets and be ready for war. No? That was December of 1941.
1941.
Yes,
Oo,
no?
dito nagsimula, di ba?
Yes.
Yung gera.
Pearl Harbor was attacked.
Pearl Harbor was
Harbor,
attacked,
oo.
so on. And then
Must be very young at that time.
he was very young, and
Parang
in
20s,
fact,
ganyan.
yes, fresh graduates lang siya, no? And then at the outbreak of the war, he was tasked, no, to defend our land, no, because of the invading forces, the invading Japanese forces, and his main line of defense was in the trenches or in the borders of Quezon, no, in Mauban, Quezon, no.
Sa Quezon,
Sa
okay.
Quezon, no? And he was telling me stories that he was tasked to man the defense of the beaches of Mauban, Quezon at the time when the
Sa dyan lumalanding kasi.
doon
no?
kasi
Sa mga
nag-invade
beaches,
yung mga Japanese
okay.
Imperial Forces, no? At that time, I remember he was telling me that under the command of then General Susumu Morioki, he told me, he was so arrogant, that he was so confident that he immediately landed his amphibious forces in the beaches
Sa
of
Mauban.
Mauban, only to underestimate the valor and the bravery of our Filipino soldiers.
So ano nangyari? Anong kwento ni General Santos?
So, ang nangyari, he was, the invading forces, the first attempt was repelled, no? and naubos
Hindi sila
daw.
makalanding, oo.
Hindi makalanding, no? So nag-retreat daw yung forces ni General Morioki, and then gumawa ng second wave, which is merong artillery bombardment tsaka aerial bombardment. At doon sila pinulbos, no? And because of that, they had to retreat to the second line of defense, no? Nasa Mauban, they had to retreat somewhere in Infanta, Quezon.
Susunod na bayan.
Until bandang Lucena, and then umakyat na umakyat na sa Pampanga, no? Until dumating tayo doon sa Bataan.
Sa Bataan. So, nandun siya nakasama ba sa...
Yes, he was there in the thick of the fight, no?
He was in Death March.
He was part of the Death March, no? And marami rin po siyang mga...
Katagal siyang naglakad nun na yung mga panahong yun.
Ay, ilang ano yun?
Diba?
From Bataan to Capas Tarlac, no? And he was telling me that sa Cap O'Donnell, and he was telling me...
From Bagak to Campo Donal yan, no?
Yes.
100 kilometers.
Pero in his case, kasi sabi niya, Pampanga, naggaling pa sila sa Infanta.
Yes.
Unti-unting nakapatras sila.
Nagre-retreat sila until they were forced to surrender. Or he was ordered to surrender. At first, he did not want, no? But he was ordered to surrender April 12, 1942.
April 12, 1942. Pero April 9 kasi yung sinasabi natin na
Yung fall of Bataan. Because at that time, Bataan fell already. But he was still fighting. Lumalaban pa until he was ordered to surrender his unit. No? So April 12, formally, he surrendered his unit, and he became part of the infamous Death March, no?
Yes.
And ang kinukwento nga
Anong
niya
kwento niya sa Death March? Kasi
sa Death March,
ang dami namatay dyan.
Marami yung namatay, no? And meron ho siyang isang magandang kwento na marami ho siyang mga kasama, no? Meron ho siyang isang kababata na ang pangalan at that time, Captain Juan Ortega, no?
Juan Ortega.
Kababata niya, they were childhood friends, they went to school together, and they went to war together with the same rank, no? Both captain.
Ano rango nila nung Death March?
Kapitan sila.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
So nung na Death March na ho sila, may mga tama ho si Captain Ortega at that time at may sakit na rin ho, ano? So at that time, my father was a physical culturist. He was a boxer, he was a wrestler. That's why he was physically endowed. So, ang ginawa niya, kinarga niya yung kanyang kaibigan.
During the march,
During the march, no?
Survive ba niya yung march?
Yes. Because,
si Captain Ortega?
ito nga ho magandang story dyan, no? Ang nangyari ho niyan, nung kinakarga niya, because the Japanese now were very, very...
Ruthless.
Ruthless and cruel, no? So, there was a time wherein everybody was already dying, no? And si Captain Ortega mismo was on the verge of dying. No? And then it was Captain Ortega who requested his bosom friend, sabi niya, Fred, hayaan mo na akong mamatay. Sabi niya.
So that he can go ahead.
So that you can go ahead. Kasi kung hindi pareho tayong papatayin dito.
Ay, iwan.
So what he did was to reluctantly, no, left Captain Ortega in a mango tree, no, with town folks by the side, no, and then he refused to look at him at the back because alam na papatayin siya. The last recall that he had was Captain Ortega was slapped, sinampal
siya
nung Japanese officer, tsaka binayoneta. Binayoneta. And then he did not look at the back anymore.
Kasi pati siya madadamay.
Yes. So he just prayed for the soul of Captain Ortega. And then came Camp O'Donnell in Capas Tarlac. He was imprisoned. August 10 of the same year, he was freed. Kasi occupied territory na ang Pilipinas noon, no? And the very first person who greeted him was Captain Ortega.
So what happened? Paano nangyari? Kinikilabutan ako sa kwento mo. Paano siya nakaligtas? Anong kwento?
Nung inahabilin ho siya doon sa townsfolk, no?
Inalagaan siya.
Inalagaan pala siya. Yung mga taong bayan. Binuhay siya. Although binayoneta, siguro flesh wound lang ho or whatever. Iniwan siya.
Nagamot agad.
Binuhay siya. And then, sa akalain niyang patay na ho yung kanyang mataling na kaibigan, ipinagdasal niya. only to find out that when he was released from the concentration camp, the very first person to greet him was
This is one
Captain
of the
Ortega.
good and happy stories, di ba?
Exactly.
Kasi ang marami dyan daw kapag di ba, nililibing na lang ng buhay.
Oh, may story pang ganyan, di ba? And in fact, as many as anywhere from 5,000 to
5,000 to 18,000 Filipinos ang namatay.
Yes.
Out of the 60 to 80,000 na nagmarcha sa
Nagmarcha.
bataan. So parang
something like that.
one-fourth ang
30%.
namatay.
Yes.
3 out of 10 died, more or less.
3 out of 10
parang gano'n.
died.
And he survived, ha?
He survived.
So, nakabalik sila sa servisyo, sila dalawa.
After, when he was released from the concentration camp, he joined underground movement which they call
guerrilla.
FAIT, the Phil American Irregular Troops, ang tawag nila doon, no? Na parang resistance movement, no? Until he was part of the liberation of Manila noong 1945, no?
kasama rin sila doon.
Kasama rin sila doon.
Until naging nakabalik na si MacArthur na...
Bumalik si MacArthur at na-liberate na ang Manila, ang Philippines, and natapos na ho yung gera. Pero meron ho kaming usap-usapan ng father ko parate na very interesting kasi sabi ko, Papa, you survived the war, no? You were in the thick of the fight, no? You were imprisoned. You were part of the death march. But you said, and according to records, you were never wounded and you were
Totoo ba yun?
never sick, no? So, ang sabi niya, Iho, tama yan. Because
Talaga?
modesty aside, I received all medals except for one medal, which is the Purple Heart or the Wounded Soldiers.
Because only people who died...
Hindi siya nasaktan.
May anting-anting ba yan?
You got it
Tatay
out
mo?
from my mouth. So niloko ko ang papa. Sabi ko sa papa ko, Pa, baka naman gusto mong ipamana sa akin yung anting-anting, di ba?
Pinamana ba?
I'm just kidding, but
Pero ang sagot to ang sagot ng papa ko, Iho, ang anting-anting mo ay yung pangalan mo na dinadala mo.
Oh.
You will live with my legacy
Yes.
and my and the life that I live for love and service of our beloved country. Yan ang anting-anting mo sa buhay. Huwag mawawala sa iyo.
Talaga naman.
Sana nakaka-relate lahat, Gov, ano? Especially yung mga millennials, ano? Ay, by the way, habang nagsasalita po si Sir Ramon, ano? Meron nung dito sa aming FB page, nakikita ko yung mga pictures po ni General.
Kasi
Na parang sa kwento niya kasi.
yung mga pictures na ni General
Yes.
Santos before.
Dahil niya ang gusto natin magkaroon inspirasyon sa atin, lalo na mga kabataan natin ngayon.
Hindi na kasi nila alam ko.
True. Puro ano na lang.
Yung
Gadget.
Bakit holiday ang April 9, diba? Alam lang nila.
Bataan Day daw.
Bataan Day daw. Pero hindi nila nalalaman yung totoong
Yung ugat.
kahulugan ng araw na ito. And that's
Tama
what we
yun.
would like to impart to our people.
Alam niyo, way back April 9, 1977, my father completed his somewhat autobiography of the war.
May na-publish na yan?
Meron na akong kopya dito. Pero hindi ko na-publish, no? I have the original manuscript, no?
Okay.
And
Wow.
it was completed April 9, 1977. That was 41 years ago, to be exact, no? And if you will permit me, since we are in this theme of nationalism and
Yes.
patriotism, because I believe that my father was the supreme patriot. He loved his country very much. When he wrote his reminiscences, he had an opening statement, an opening letter
Okay.
to whoever the leader. And if you will permit me, this
Okay,
was
go
written.
ahead.
This was written 1977, and
Okay.
the words itself has still very, very relevant meaning up to now. If I may just read for the behalf of my father.
Sige nga.
We can have a few minutes to listen to the words. These are
Maraming
the
salamat.
actual words.
These are the actual words of my
General
father.
Yes.
Santos.
Sige nga, para mabaring yung mga kabayan natin.
35 years after the surrender of Bataan, I took it upon myself to record for posterity the momentous events which took place during the critical months of December 1941 to April of 1942. reliving mostly from memory the battles and close combats where I personally participated and led my troops in accomplishing the delicate missions entrusted to us against overwhelming odds of a superior enemy in number and training, experience, power, and armament. Motivated solely by an intense love of country and by a strong faith in the righteousness of our cause, my officers and men fought heroically the ruthless invaders. As we look back, we cherish the extreme satisfaction of having truly served our beloved people in their time of trial and sacrifice, and seeing for ourselves today that this nation survived the Holocaust which descended upon our land, yet still continue to grow in unity, progress, strength, and in determination to take our rightful place in the concert of free nations of the world. For those among us who made the supreme sacrifice in the service of our people, we raise our heads to heaven and pray to Almighty God that they be granted their just reward, eternal rest, believing down deep in our hearts that they really did not die in vain and truly merit the eternal gratitude of our beloved people. To the youth of the land, I dedicate these reminiscences depicting the valor and heroism of the Filipino soldier, knowing that when the nation again faces similar crises, they will never be found wanting. Signed, General Alfredo M. Santos, Chief of Staff, 1962 to 1965.
Wow.
Grabe.
Thank you for sharing, Mon. Thank you.
for
So,
sharing.
talking about the
That's a
valor
good message
of the Filipino
for
at yung
everyone.
mga inaalay niyo doon sa people who have sacrificed, who have done the supreme sacrifice. Di ba sabi niya? Well,
Dahil sa pagmamahal sa bansa yan, they did not die in vain.
they did not die in vain. Oo. Pero, salamat, Mon. Pero, ibig kong sa nalabi pa ilang minuto, magkwento ko pa nga kung ano yung mga outstanding achievements na na-share niya sa'yo. Dahil kilala nga siya, Hammer of the Armed Forces, yung Hero of the Pockets. Hindi ba yung parang yung pockets yata, para kinukubkub silang ganyan?
Yes.
Di
Ang
ba?
nangyari ho
Nung,
nito,
dito sa bandang Bagak yata.
Bataan, no? Ang nangyari ho nung kasi, they were,
Ano nangyari
nung nag-invade na ho ang mga Japanese forces, they were already retreating, and the Japanese were gaining grounds already. They had to set up several lines of defense, no? Yung mga defense lines na tinatawag, no? Na yung first resistance line na tinatawag nila, nandun ho yung first regular division ng father ko, no?
Oh, okay.
Yung unit nila.
Andun
no?
siya.
Andun siya, no? But he was telling me that these defense lines were because of the superior forces of the Japanese, they were penetrated, no? And because it was penetrated, nagkaroon ng pockets, no? Meaning to say, the main
Nagkabukod-bukod sila.
Nagkabukod-bukod, tapos yung pinaka main defense forces of the Philippines were threatened by the onslaught of the coming
parang
invaders,
nakukubkob
no?
na sila.
Nakukubkob, no?
Tagalog, di ba?
So,
Surrounded.
my father was tasked to defend and to resist, no? And on two occasions, doon sa Gogo Kotar, tsaka yung Tulon Pass, no? He was able to outmaneuver because the resistance movement maneuvered or strategized by my father lasted for a good 45 days, no? And it enabled our defending forces to consolidate and to regroup, no? And defend Bataan for a longer time, no?
Yes. Because, so, kung hindi sila nakalabas doon, bumagsak ang Bataan na mas maaga.
That's why there was a time, I recall he was telling me, he was being ordered by then General Segundo to station his forces na yung tinatawag nilang Point A saka Point L, no? It's a military terminology, no? And then he went back to his commanding officer and said, General Segundo, it would be much better for us to deploy my forces on Point B and C. So nagalit na ho si General Segundo sa kanya. You dare defy the orders of General Jonathan Wainwright na ang sinabi,
Yun ang overall commander.
overall commander, to deploy your forces on point A and B. Sir, it is not my intention to defy direct
Right.
orders from our superior, but these orders were based on estimates, on maps. I know the terrain.
Yun. So kaya sila nakalaban.
Kaya siya nakalabas. So,
Oo.
if you will permit me, I will deploy our forces to points B and C. If we deploy our forces on points A to L,
Wipe out
matatamaan
sila.
ho tayo sa likod.
Oo.
Ayun. And sa mga tagapakinig natin, hindi ko lang bigyan ng konting background. Subin tayo ng ito mga bata ito eh.
Yes.
No?
Thank you, Go.
Ang target talaga ng mga Japanese forces was to steamroll the Philippines in a couple of weeks. Parang ganun la in-underestimate ang Filipino.
Filipino.
Talaga namang, ang plano nila kasi is to proceed to Australia right away. Yun ang plano, di ba?
Yes,
Ng gera. Doon sa pinakita nila General Santos ng mga Pilipinong guerrillero, na-delay sila. Imagine, December. So, January, February, March, April. So, it took 4 months.
4 months.
Na dapat 2-3 weeks tapos
Tapos
sila.
na.
Tapos na. Oo.
Oo. Gagawin nilang jumping board ang Pilipinas in attacking Australia. And in fact, this part
So,
of the
na-underestimate
Asia-Pacific.
nila, hindi nila akalain ganun
pala katapang.
katatapang ang mga Pilipino.
Yes. Kaya importante yung kinukwento ni Mon na yan, kung paano nakalabas sila at napatagal pa yung labanan.
Marami pa ho siyang mga magagandang kwento ng mga maliliit na kung
Share mo pa, sige. Meron pa tayo
meron
ilang
pa kayo
minuto
ilang
and then we
minuto.
move over to the next.
Kasi he was tasked to defend the trenches, no, yung at ito hong mga Japanese Imperial Forces would send some tinatawag nilang mga
reconnaissance team.
na gumagapang sa gabi, no.
Oo. Na-imagine ko parang road ako ng war games.
Yes. Yeah, totoo, no? So, he gave instructions to his men na ang code word, ang code name, are those letters that start with an L, which is like Lily of the Valley, Lilliput, because alam nila na the Japanese cannot pronounce the letter L.
Well, hindi maiintindihan.
Kaya, nung meron silang narinig na Riri of the Valley. Hapon yun.
I rob you.
So, they were able to resist. They were able to, and very strategic ko mag-isip ang father ko. Small detail, but very strategic and very, alam niya yung precise, alam niya yung galaw sa ground.
Pagka Riri of the Valley, barilin mo.
Alam na yun.
Well, anyway, napakaganda yung mga kwento mo at sa mga tagapakinig natin, di ba, partners?
Pwedeng maganda siyang i-continue, no? Siguro sa next week yung mga ganitong stories, itong mga memories na to, Gov, makikita nila to saan? Sa Corridor.
Sa Corridor din.
Which is the biggest war museum.
Correct. At yun na siguro next week, i-feature natin. Kaya itong pagdalo ni Mon sa atin, isang napakagandang panimulang pagtatanghal.
Salamat po.
Sa galing ng Pilipino, tapang ng Pilipino, kabayanihan ng mga Pilipino na kinakatawan ni General Alfredo Santos. First 4-star General
Galing.
at Chief of Staff of the Philippines.
Thank you.
Pasalamatan natin si Mon.
Maraming salamat, Mon.
At,
At mabuhay ka at ang lahi ninyo.
Maraming salamat din po at binigyan niyo ho ako ng pagkakataon na mailathala sa ating taong bayan ang mumunting kadakilaan at kabanalan ng aking ama na talagang to me is a supreme patriot. Mahal na mahal niya ang taong bayan.
Our appreciation.
Very good
Salamat
example.
po, nako, sa pag-
Thank you very much, Mon.
Thank you very much din po at mabuhay din ho po kayo.
Yes, well, sa oras na 30 minuto, maglabis na 5, ay magbibigay po tayo ng ilang pasalasas at babalik tayo ito sa pangalawang bahagi ng ating talagtunan ngayon. Well, thank you very much, Mon.
Thank you, Mon.
Thank you very much po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Galing mo, Pinoy. Ganda mo, Pinas.